Hi there, this is James Tripp. Welcome to this video, which is the first video in the Reality Hacks series that I am creating for James Tripp Chaos Wave here on YouTube. Now, before I say what a reality hack is, I'm going to share the first one with you. Then we'll unpack what it is, how it works after the fact. The first reality hack that I want to share with you is the owner-victim distinction. The owner-victim distinction. And I want to give credit to where I first learned this from. I learned this from a mentor of mine, a guy I worked with a few years ago called Steve Chandler, who not only introduced this distinction to me, but introduced many distinctions which were very powerful in upgrading my operating system in life. But he also introduced to me, more importantly, an appreciation for how distinctions work and how powerful they can be. So let's look at this first distinction, and then we'll unpack a little bit more of what is it that makes these distinctions powerful. So the first distinction is the owner-victim distinction, and this is about two attitudes, okay? Two attitudes, two ways of being in the world, two ways of looking at life. And essentially, the victim is somebody who habitually and unconsciously focuses in their life on where they cannot make a difference, on where they do not have power. It's entirely unconscious. The vast majority of people who are doing this habitually have no idea they're doing it. They cannot see it because they're seeing the world through it. But this is the filtering system, continually filtering unconsciously for where they cannot make a difference and where they do not have power. The owner, in contrast, is somebody who always unconsciously and habitually filters for where they can make a difference, where they do have power, where they can exercise their choice, when they can take an action that will make a difference. Because in every state of affairs, we can look at what we have no power with, or we can look at where we do have power. We can become a victim to those circumstances, or we can identify with the I that chooses and consider what it is that we want to make happen. Now, these are two powerfully different ways of being in the world. I mean, powerfully different. And I'm offering them here as the first reality hack because they're the foundation of everything. If a person is stuck in a position of believing they cannot make a difference, they're a position where they're a victim of circumstances, whatever the circumstances, then they cannot use any kind of mind technology, any kind of operating system upgrades or anything to do anything because it's not in their control to do it. Essentially, they have no power in the world because they cannot affect anything. They are constantly being affected by everything. So this is why this is a powerful distinction. Now, what I would invite you to do as you see this distinction is start reflecting upon it. Look around you in the world. Where do you hear people saying, oh, you know, I would do that, but I can't because of this, or, you know, the thing is they won't let me do this, or you'll hear the language of it coming out of people's mouths. Well, I can't, yeah, well, I would do that, but the problem is I don't like doing X, Y, and Z, and then it would be, so you hear the language of being at effect, of victimhood, where the difference cannot be made. You'll hear it coming out of people's mouths. And here's the thing, you will hear it from time to time coming out of your own mouth. Unless you've already trained yourself, or unless you were particularly fortunate as you were growing up to have incredible influences, you'll hear it coming out of your own mouth, and you'll experience it within yourself. Also, look for where you can make a difference. Listen for people who go, yep, sure, we can do this. Okay, so what is it we need to have happen here? Okay, so we could do this and this and this. Well, what are the variables on this? They're always looking for the information they need to make the difference, to make the choice. So being in the ownership position puts you in a powerfully and infinitely more resourceful place and places you fully grounded in what I would call the I that chooses. And this is an important thing. So go out into the world, look for where you see this, and more importantly, look for where you see this in your own life. If you see yourself going into, well, you know, if only that hadn't happened, why does this always happen to me? Whatever it might be, stop. Ask yourself the question, what is it that needs to happen here? What is it that needs to happen here? What are my choices here? What are some of the things that I can do that I haven't been seeing when I was stuck in that old way of thinking? So you always have choices. So let me give you an example of this. This is actually a true to life example going way back. When I first started learning this way of thinking, I had a regular job and I was on my way to work. I lived within walking distance of work. So walking into work, somebody drove through a puddle, covered me in muddy water. Now, I was on my way into work, I was going to a meeting, so this left me with a choice. I could become a victim of this and go, oh, why has this happened to me? I'm going to be late, terrible things are going to happen. Or I could stop and I could say, okay, this is not an ideal situation. So what are my choices? What is it that needs to happen here? Well, I could go home and I could get changed. That's going to make me late for the meeting. I could show up for the meeting and apologize, just explain what happens, shrug it off and get on with it. So I chose the latter. But the point here is directing the mind into where you can make a difference and what you can do rather than becoming fixated upon what you cannot do. So this is the key distinction. So this is a reality hack. And why is this a reality hack? Because when you take this in, when you take this distinction into your conceptual system, what it does is it creates a choice in how you are going to be in the world. And beingness is the foundation of everything. All of the coaching work that I do is based on the be, do, have model. People want to have different things in their life. So the way to that is to change what they are doing. And this is a common thing. People say, right, I know what I need to do, but I'm just not doing it. And the reason they're just not doing it is because the doing they're trying to do is not a good fit with how they are being, how they're making sense of the world, what their fundamental operating system is. So if you want to transform the habitual results you get, the habitual haves you get, you need to transform what you habitually do. But the only way to do that is to transform how you are habitually seeing the world, how you are being in the world yourself. And this is why, and there are many ways to approach this. This distinctions method, this reality hacks method is just one system. There are many ways of going into your operating system and starting to upgrade it. But this is one that I can offer here powerfully through video without having to work one-on-one in person with you, getting into your deep personal stuff. So this is how this is powerful. It's offering a transformation to your conceptual system, which it's worth spending some time with, building in, that creates a distinction that enables a choice that would otherwise not have been there. It empowers the I that chooses, the adult self, the fully grown up you who can take charge of your life and really make the differences that you want to make. So every single one of the reality hacks that I share in this series will be along these lines, a distinction that can upgrade your operating system, that connects you more fully with your power to choose and act effectively in the world. So if you like this idea, if you like this video, please like this video here on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. Make sure you get the videos coming forward, set the notifications if that's what you need to do. And please do share this with your friends who might be interested in this. If you have any questions about the content of this video or anything beyond this, around the general topics of this channel, please do make use of the comments section and I will find a way of answering your question, or at least giving a different perspective on where it's coming from.